Kia ora rau atu koutou katoa nei rā te mihi ka koutou e te wiki o te reo Māori. Kia ora rau atu koutou katoa. Kia ora and hana mai, whakatau mai ki te whiringa toa whakataitai. NZRL National Men's Premiership. It's coming to us from Forsyth Bar Stadium in Otago, and it is a wonderful pleasure to welcome you along this Sunday afternoon. Ko Dale tēnei, rei rā te mihi ka koe ki takutaha, Willie Poaching, talo whalava. Kia ora, Willie.
Kia ora, Dale. Tēnei te wiki te reo Māori, brother. It's awesome to be here and be watching some fantastic representative rugby league. Really excited for this one.
And isn't it wonderful to be at Forsyth Bar Stadium? There are some supportive souls in there as well. But of course, for the teams who are playing, it's a wonderful opportunity. Let's have a look at what happened last week. The Otago Whalers have really caused a bit of a stir, and they were able to get across their opponents last week, beating Waikato by 48-24. Plenty of tries, plenty of skillful play, and the collaboration between rugby league and rugby union as well, down in the deep south, 42-0 with a thumping of the Bay of Plenty. But the Bay in this sort of company for the first time in a long time, and the Stingrays, they had back-to-back tries and plenty of them. But they did travel yesterday to Dunedin, and so they'll be excited about what is ahead. Now let's have a look at the National Men's Premiership. And the Auckland Vulcans 42-24. We've got the Whalers, Waikato and the Akarana Falcons doing battle at the moment. And in the women's game, we just saw the Akarana Falcons get across the Canterbury Bulls by 36 points to 20. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's have a look as well at the lineup for the Otago squad. And there are plenty of interesting players who are going to be tuning out for Dave Reedy this afternoon. Brown is at the back. A lot of these guys swap overs. They play rugby, and then they come back and strengthen the rugby league situation for the Whalers. It's been a good formula, and it is working. And keep an eye out, too, for those who will be steering them around the park today. Hagen Freeze, their most experienced. Troy Anstis gives them a good spine, and Max Brown at the back. But they've got some big units in Cameron Brown and also Michaela Muffy. Let's hear from the coach of the Otago Whalers, Dave Reedy.
Okay, today. What are you looking for in terms of your team and the performance?
Our team, just more accuracy this week. We're a bit loose last week in the middle 30 minutes. So I think if we can tidy that up, then yeah, we should be ready to roll.
Awesome. And what do you think the Stingrays are going to throw at you this week?
Size, they're quite big, physical, and they're quite experienced. And yeah, most of their players play for the same club, so they got good connection. But our connections are good, and we're just worried about what we can do. And yeah, the best advice I got was from under-13's coach. I heard him yesterday say they can't run without legs. So that's the message for our boys.
Well, that's great advice. All the best for today's match.
Cheers, thank you. And just a quick shout out
Dave
to our
Reedy,
sponsor,
he's been a wonderful contributor to the local rugby league scene in and around Otago, Dunedin. Just a half dozen or so teams involved in their annual championships. They play a compressed season. As we look at the Stingrays lineup, Ruka Loza is the coach. Dowie is at the back. Jamal Hunt will captain the squad in jersey number 8. Lafo, Bagale, Parudu, Price. Good strong back rowers as well. And off the bench with Wharton Benedict, talking out for 4, Fine Money and Junior Maungate. You know, they're a class act here, the Stingrays, and they'll probably go in as favourites here, but the Whalers, well, they're there to play as well. Let's hear from the coach, Ruka Loza.
Thanks for joining us. After that big win against Bay of Plenty last weekend, how do you keep your momentum moving into today's match?
Plenty of work-ons from last week. It wasn't the perfect game of footy for us. Great to get the win, but yeah, concentrating on all the little areas that we can improve on and trying to get better every week. That's our goal.
Awesome. And what do you think the Whalers will dish up today?
Look, they look like they're free in their attack and their ability to score points after watching last week. They're a dangerous side, so we need to be on our game today.
Well, all the best. Thank you.
And great to have you with us. Thanks so much for tuning in Sky Sport and bringing you the action from the NZRL National Men's Premiership. Called Dale tēnei. And beside me, Willie Poaching. Hey, Willie. This is great, though, isn't it?
Amazing.
I mean, we're inside, it's dry, but it sounds like it's raining outside from the feedback we're getting at the moment. Counties Manukau went down yesterday. An opportunity for some of these guys from the south side perhaps would very rarely, if ever, visit Dunedin.
No, it's the benefit of being able to represent and go on the road and to play in a stadium where they've got a roof. If it is raining outside, as it sounds like on our headphones, the benefit of playing under the roof of the Forsyth Bar Stadium, they get to play on the really dry track, which will suit, I think, Counties Manukau today. It suited Otago last week with their big win. Both teams obviously coming into this unbeaten, trying to keep track with Akarana, who had a win over Bay of Plenty yesterday. And we'll see how Otago go with this first defensive set against a big side that the Counties Manukau have.
Yeah, the Counties Manukau squad are big and tough, don't worry about that. But these boys too, they're rugby men out of the south. Not the deep south, that's more Southland. But certainly here for the Otago Whalers, well, they've got some genuine size in there. The big number 10, Mikael Muffif, as an example. And Muffy's been around for a long time, the most senior. He's had 5 years, plays NPC for the Stags and Otago. And it's Mikael Muffy's kids who are the ball boys out there today. Keep an eye out for him, number 10 in the Whalers lineup. As we have the Stingrays with the full Stingrays, Whalers, very maritime sort of terminology coming in this one, Willie.
Yeah, both teams really fronting up. They'll be happy with the way they've got themselves over halfway here, Counties Manukau side. But Otago, ready to be physical. They've rolled their sleeves up and really putting themselves about.
So the ball is deep, and it's taken well. It'd be wonderful to play on a track like this. Of course, the indoor arena, don't get too many chances. I guess our local guys across the top with a punishing hit. Joshua Cooper. So there's plenty there. The man at the back, Joey Price, although he does prefer to be called Sergeant, he's a policeman. Joey, you remember him from our junior footy as well, Willie, or maybe you're in England for a time there, but Joey would be in his 30s now. Certainly featured in the under-20s Warriors lineup and the like.
Yeah, and they'll be calling on some of that experience. They've got a couple of players, Arthur Crichton being one of them, who's had some experience in Australia. All those guys with experience at NRL level and being in the system, that'll be called upon this afternoon.
Yeah, I was talking with Leroy Fa'avesi, is the assistant coach to Urukalosa here for the Stingrays. I said, but my immediate thought was, is there a Crichton from GI? Because there's a big family of Crichtons in East Auckland. And is he related to Steve? And he said, no, I don't think so. But he texted me back this morning, he said, yes, they're cousins. So you know how it works, though. Hey, we like Stephen Crichton. Good luck to him, too, later this afternoon. So it is, again, the Stingrays who have the football delivered up. Matty Takau is the man with the distribution roles today. And let's have another look at how that came to be. What did you read into that?
I don't know if he's gone past the horizontal and just landed on his head here. If a defender comes in and just lifts them, as you see, and yeah, probably not a lot in it. There's a bit of milking for me, where he's landed on the ground. But a penalty nonetheless, an early advantage to the Stingrays, forcing an error out of Otago and then winning a penalty and a real opportunity to open up and put themselves in a position to attack.
That's exactly what's going on as Matty Takau lines into dummy half. Everyone puts their hand up, wide they come, and then chiming in is Dowie. He comes in from the fullback role, and they score straight away. Well, if they needed any example of the intent that they're going to approach the game with, James Dowie, he is a terrific contributor. Formerly with the Mangere East Hawks, been with Papakura this season, but he just chimes in beautifully to score the first try for the Stingrays against the Whalers.
And nice play from the Stingrays, getting to the middle of the field, splitting the defenders, and it was that man, Crichton, that we've just spoken about. Arthur Crichton playing deep into the line, had his centre, tie in the centre from the Otago side. Coming in, it was Tama Apineru, the defender from the outside, just reads, Dowie gets a 2-on-1, throws the dummy. The top scorer in the Fox Memorial competition this year opens the scoring with the first try. Great start for the Stingrays.
Yeah, James Dowie, he's got an innate ability to just identify where the opportunities are, gets himself in good position. He's a big-ish fullback as well, so he's not like this breed of little nippy guys we're seeing in different teams, but a fullback of genuine size as well. It's an amazing facility. Remember, there's a whole lot of sort of conjecture as to whether or not it should be built in the first place. The previous stadium collapsed with snow on it. You might have been living in England at that time, Willie.
I think it was.
And then the community all said, well, we can't have a repeat performance of that. So they built this state-of-the-art facility, which has been well utilised, of course, hosting test matches, but and concerts. Elton John was there and others. But it's been a long time, I guess, since I've seen a rugby league squad there. Unsuccessful to convert his own try. So Dowie to score after 4 minutes, but couldn't add the extras. And there once again is the magnificence of this sporting arena in Dunedin. Well worth a visit. And the Otago Whalers, as the name suggests, the whaling was such a big part of the history of the Otago region. As we get underway with the restart from Mawai Manuika, they really haven't had any football to speak of as the big forwards roll their way forth. Manukau. Yes, they went out for a little look around the octagon, and of course the casino not far from where they were staying last night, but there was a curfew on, and it was 10:30. That's the word I got anyway. I hope all boys made their way back.
Yeah, well, if they've gone down there the night before in order to give the guys the best opportunity to prepare well, then the onus is on them to do just that.
Yep.
They're not down there for a holiday. Yeah, take whatever side's in, but at some point you've got to put the game as the priority, and they've done that well already here and get the benefit at the start of this game.
That's Muffy on the left, or right in front of us there, packing down. Cam Brown, Troy Anstis, and the scrum to be fed there. As well as we see the Whalers with the first real touch of the football. Whalers looking through at Hagen Free. He puts the ball down as well, so they'll be disappointed with their start. Could have got away to a better effort.
Yeah, Dave Reddy be really disappointed with how they've opened their attacking game. It's 2 sets, 2 errors now. The first one in yardage, they threw it into touch. And that occasion, just a cold drop ball and a great opportunity to respond to that try that the Stingrays opened up with.
Big Mr. Nale Fafita. That's him lurking around. Scrum feed here for Liam Prendergast. Plenty of experience for Liam. He gets the ball away. Dowie takes first receipt as well. Then able to pop the pass out the back door. Dowie featuring again. Fafita is your tackler. Counties Manukau getting the work done at the moment. Everyone's getting into position and angling up for a run. Here's their skipper, Jamal Hunt. Jamal, long-time contributor to the Otago Leopards. Most of the players here out of the Leopards, all from Papakura, as another gap opens up. Now, remember, Counties Manukau will be better this week than last week, having had the run. They won by 40 against the Bay of Plenty. So very important that the Whalers try to keep them in check in these early exchanges, and they are under pressure. Now the ball's come away, and one of the Whalers players has a run with it. It's McEntee, who gets the ball out on the far side to Manuika, who is put away on the tackle of Dowie. A quick play, the ball needed, but hardly delivered. Having a run out of dummy half. 2, this is Troy Anstis. Anstis has got a ton of experience as well. Otago Rugby League Development Officer, actually, Troy. And then they'll rely on their big men to cart the ball forward as well. They're getting themselves into position. They're 12 out from the try line, 10 to the right-hand side of the posts as McEntee sends one over the top and picks up Manuika. Comes back into traffic. Manuika is shut down 5 short of the try line. Very good chance here for the Whalers if they can convert. First touch of the ball out to Cameron Brown, who angles to the line, and Brown is in to score. Cameron Brown, one of the most senior players, plays for the Kia Tour Tigers and is a medical student at Otago University. And Cameron Brown does the business for the Whalers.
And a great reward for some effort on defence. They force the error. The Whalers, they make a break down their right-hand side to put them in the position to raid some attack. And a great try there for Cameron Brown to open up the scoring, as I said, to respond to the opening try that the county's Manukau Stingrays did with James Dowie. Now they're 4-6 down, 4-all, with the kick right next to the post. Some great effort, and it can go with you and against you when you score so early. It's about staying patient. Since that try, the Stingrays have come up with 2 critical errors, and the Whalers have made them pay for that second one.
And Jordan McEntee will be taking the conversion here. He's from the South Pacific Raiders, or South Pac, as it's known. The third year to be co-captaining this squad, Jordan. He's a former New Zealand touch representative. And of course, down in Dunedin, the codes are very much working together. They play a 6-week rugby league sort of championship or tournament at the back of the rugby season, and it involved 5 teams, including one in from Wamaru, as we just wait and see whether Jordan will be successful. And the flags are up, so 6-4 scoreline after that try to Cameron Brown. And so we are seeing a collaboration of the 2 codes in Dunedin, unprecedented in many ways. Part of the reason you're seeing rugby league being played on what is traditionally known as a rugby ground. But many of the rugby clubs, in fact, I'm aware of one, there's a junior comp on as we speak, and one of the prominent rugby clubs in Dunedin City have fielded a rugby league team. So perhaps some of the barriers between codes that existed in yesteryear are slowly starting to break down, Willie.
Yeah, and great to see. We've got to coexist, and on some occasions, as you're talking about, we've got to use the same athletes, and we can coexist and both be successful with the same athletes, as the Whalers are showing here. And of course, Otago were one of the originally established rugby league areas of the game back in 1908, so it's great to see them back and doing so well.
And taking the hit there is Tuhinga Vai Tupu, that's Orlando, on debut here. There's a younger brother. There's been all the junior rep teams, South Island, etc. So Orlando took a bit of a shot there, but it is a good touch finder, a good meter eater here for the Whalers. Well, it would be a serious upset if they're able to knock over the Stingrays. They played so well in this competition across the years. Across the top on defence is Josh Cooper. Quick play the ball delivered up here from Aleki Morris.
I think it's fair to say there would have been some shockwaves, not just by the win they had last week, but the scoreline against Waikato, with which the Otago side won last week. That would have sent some reverberations through the competition and really made everyone stand up, especially the Stingrays coming into this game.
Yeah, very much so. 48-24. It did me. I said, well, they're looking pretty good, the Whalers, if they had a good win like that. Now packing down the scrum here. Referee today is Jack Feast, long-time contributor to the whistleblowing of our wonderful code. And great that you could join us, being part of your Sunday afternoon, having a squizzy at what's going on in the NZRL Men's Premiership. This man's been busy early on with his willingness to cart. Short side run. And again, James Dowie chimes in. Lovely ball on the far side. Getting it out to Josh Cooper. He's angled in and eventually wrapped up the number 4. But a danger exists here, and a dive towards the line comes up, trumps. That's Arthur Crichton, and a good try to the halfback.
Yeah, and a great response. And David Reddy, the coach for the Otago Whalers, will be really disappointed with how they're controlling the ball here. They've completed one set which gave them a try and then completed the other 3 that they've had to give the Stingrays this sort of field position. As you just see there, it's McEntee, the halfback, who's defending at the second man in, who's biting really hard and giving Dowie all the space in the world. They should have scored on that occasion. But Crichton sees the opportunity, sees the numbers, decides to go himself and gets Counties Manukau their second try of the afternoon. Well taken, good response to the error and the opportunity to attack in good field position.
Yeah, he's also had some work played, I think, in the Penrith competition as well, alongside his cousin, Stephen. He's now with the Dogs, of course, but he's played at a high level in New South Wales Cup or junior footy with the Penrith Panthers. Arthur Crichton, of course, with Papakura this year. 15 minutes gone, James Dowie. And from the far side, hits this one, looking better. And the flags are up. So the Stingrays take it to 10-6. As we get another look, darting out of dummy half, Crichton. Too tough for his opposite as well. That's Jordan McEntee. The action coming to you from Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium. Been enjoying the footy as well. It's a great time of year for rugby league fans. Able to watch local rugby league, regional, as we are here in our national competition, but also the very best of the best when we look at the NRL, unprecedented numbers, and of course the Pacifica Championship still to come. So gotta love September, eh, Willie?
Beautiful, beautiful way to end the season of rugby league. As you said, seeing representative rugby league back on again, and seeing guys who play in the heartland and the community of our game, being able to represent, just playing with so much heart here this afternoon.
There's Price again on the boil as he rolls his way forward. Important here that the Otago lads stay focused on their defensive work. A lot of them are a little inexperienced at where they should be at various parts of the set as the ball has popped up and Jamal Hunt makes some easy meters through the middle of the park. He'll play back for Tikau. He'll go himself. Darts a few meters. Runs into the shoulder of Muffy. Quick to his feet, quick play the ball. Dowie comes back into the mix as Prendergast gets there. Puts it into the end goal. Danger times, everyone's scrambling for it. I think no one got there though.
Yeah, I think this will be a dropout. Looks like Max Brown, the fullback for Otago, tried to come in and clean up the ball, knocked it on. Stingrays had an opportunity here. Oh, and unlucky. Viliami Cooley just needed to touch the ball down and possibly score a try. But a great set from the Stingrays. I really like the way they're moving around the ball. They've got players coming back underneath, asking so many questions of the Whalers' defence.
It's McEntee with a shortish drop out. Easy pickings, the ball's come away though. And then flung to ground is Prendergast. Tikau. Hunt. Listed last week as Sean. This is his old man's name. So apologies if we're calling you Sean Hunt. I thought it was you, Jamal. And it sure is. Solid D needed there from Anstis. Makes his mark. Hunt is close by to the back row. And that's easy pickings. Very, very easy pickings for the Sergeant. Sergeant Joey Price is in to score.
And another play where they've got some movement. Just when they're defending their line, the Whalers are a little bit too passive. As you can see, they only get up 2 metres. They've got to get up as far as they can and try and make the contact as far away from the advantage line as they can possibly make it for the big ball carriers that the Stingrays have. They're trying to front their bodies up, the Whalers, but the physicality and the size and the presence of the Stingrays is too much when they're defending on their back foot. They've got to get some aggression and get some line speed. And people like Joey Price are going to make him pay just like he did then.
Yeah, he works hard, Joe. And he likes the tough stuff in there. So there'll be some some hard talking in there, not too hard though, because you're also trying to bring a sense of unity into a team that obviously hasn't played together all season. So it's a bit of a juggling act. You know, you've got some rugby converts in there, but you know, just personal responsibility. Really, you'd think that they'll be disappointed not being able to keep that one out. Joe Price scoring. Here's Dowie to add the extras. This will make it 16, and the flags are up. So 16-6 scoreline from Forsyth Bar. Let's have another look. Easy pickings.
And you can just see how close they still are to their try line, whereas they can get another 3 or 4 steps further forward and be making those tackles a bit further out, especially against these big ball carriers. But whilst I'm talking about defence, their attack has really been off as well. As I said, the one set they completed, they scored. The other 4 times they've had the ball, they've turned it over cheaply in tough field position.
So Manukau gets it to the back. The big forward, Stedman Lafaux. He knows but one way. Skipper plays for Papatoetoe. Stedman. He knows but one way. They're full of talent. There's no doubt about that. But of course, we've got the Falcons and the Vulcans that they've got to account for if they want to hold the trophy aloft. Down the right as they come this time around. Beautiful run. And it calls into play Max Brown making the tackle there. Dummy half work for Cooley. Danger time. Through the middle, it's Price. Then Dowie. Numbers down the left edge. Some scrambling defence here by the Whalers. And the 2 best are across there as well. That's Anstis and assisted by Brown. And another penalty. I think they'll sense that they can score here, so they'll have another go.
You can just tell by some of the body language of the Whalers, the tempo that the Stingrays are playing with is just starting to weigh on them.
Sort of eased to ground that time. Picked up nicely onto Lafaux once again. He runs at the back rower, Hagen free. Right on the line here. And a challenging time once again, a blind pass. And the combination doesn't quite gel. And disappointingly, as Stedman gets to his feet, it will be a Whalers ball. And I guess the Stingrays will be kicking themselves for not making more of that opportunity close to the line.
Yeah, definitely. They're starting to get the sense that they've got them on the back foot. They're trying to go through the front door, where they're getting a lot of advantage, especially through the middle of the field. On that occasion, didn't quite get the timing right. And dummy half showing to the right, coming back to the left. With defenders all over him, couldn't quite collect the pass to get it over the line, but they've called to defence and see if they can restrict the Whalers here.
Well, they give it some room sideways early on in the tackle count, which is somewhat surprising. Here's Max Brown, gets into the mix. Can the Whalers force their hand a little bit as Aleki Morris takes the ball forward. Been a while since some of these players have had an opportunity and not back to 10, so that'll be a welcome opportunity to push forward. Into the hands of Brown, who'll kick across to the left-hand side here. Does that make it out? Yes, it does. So still the Whalers have the ball. 23 gone, 10 points in it. Stingrays leading here in Dunedin. Tap and go on the wind-up. This is what's needed. Some big powerhouse running as Missinale Fafita takes the footy in. Need to keep it rolling on too. So some gutsy carries running into Liam Prendergast. The big second rower. Dummy half work for Extus. Lovely hands. That ball is eluded. Everyone finds its way to Manukau. And the Stingrays up quickly on Manukau. Max Brown holding it. Morris offloads. To ground with it, Tuenga Vai Tupu. Holding up the football, bit of shape. this time around, and a surprising kick back to Dowie. He'll take it 6 out from his own line. The chase is decent enough as Tamapa Neru is assisted by Samate to put Dowie back and into the dead ball area. And so it will be the Whalers who'll get the ball from underneath the crossbar with the restart.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about the kick early in the set before last tackle, but the kick is only as good as the chase, and the chase has made it a great one. Picking up James Dowie and driving him back into the end goal. If they can collect this drop out, they'll get another attacking set. But it gives them a set completion nonetheless.
Yes, well, up and into Samate did really well to get Dowie, and now Cameron Brown, who doesn't lack any courage, this time has picked up and dispatched himself. So now, just a settler. That's tough in the middle at the moment. Stingrays going about their work. Inside ball on the run. The big 23 for Fita. And it's a knock-on. Well, that'll be a real shame to pick it up on some of these numbers. 22 out there today. 2 in a minute. It's Keenan Masina.
Yeah, missing Ali Fafita. Just trying to get up and play the ball there. And just lost control as he got to his feet. It was a clear knock-on. Referee saw it as well. Tried to claim that the defender had a foot in the way, but no chance of that happening. Just an error of fatigue from Fafita on that occasion. They're talking about when they're defending, how those middle forwards from Otago having to do a lot of work against these big ball carriers from the Stingrays. And it can take its toll, as it did then, when they're attacking, especially on their concentration.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great to have these powerhouse runners as well. This is Taki Bigeli G's been good too in that first game last week. There's half a punch there. It went on then into the big number 10, Michaela Muffy. He wants to go on with it.
Oh, has he got some blood?
Yeah, well, you know, he might have got it delivered first up too, and the number 11, Taki, give him one back. And the referee will have another look at this. But he'll have to go on and get some running repairs, no doubt.
A bit of push and shove to start with. Oh. Looks like Bagley could be the one to throw the first punch.
Yeah, before that was a bit pushy.
Yeah.
No, the referee won't stand for it. You don't see it much nowadays, Willie, and fortunately, although I know you used to like it. Yes, you did. We know you did, Willie Poaching. But that'll be a bit of a shame. Michaela Muffy, as I say, he's the most senior player of the year. He's played 5 years.
Yeah, thankfully we've got this out of our game. What it has done is it's increased the amount of pushes and shovers that we have got. And sometimes we need someone to just settle down. Silly play from Bagley. Yep, and he's been sent. The referee's picked it up. Touches picked it up. You saw the close fist.
Well, there we go. Yeah, and well, it's sending out a message, isn't it? So, yeah, that was a closed fist. There was no pushing, shoving there.
No, there's no question of that. And now they're down to 12 men. They have to overwork now some of these big men from the Stingrays. We'll see if the Whalers can take advantage of this.
Yeah, well, you know, Taki is from the Howard Club, of course, but he's also an elite CrossFit competitor as well. So he's in damn good nick, isn't he? He would have been a bit shocked by what he perceived to be a punch coming from Muffy, but it was more of a push, don't you think?
Yeah.
But then he retaliated with his fists closed. I feel for the bloke.
Yeah.
We don't see much of it, to be honest.
You've got to be conscious. Some more pushing and shoving. You've got to be careful of their discipline here, the Stingrays.
Oh, both teams do. Well, they're having a bit of a go in there by the looks of things, and you won't expect some of these big whalers to back off. Well, what's going down as we come up towards half an hour of play? Thought he was offside. So the number 10 has gone in to get some stitches by the looks of things. That's Muffy. So the Whalers, well, it's given him a bit of a shot in the arm, hasn't it? Anstice with the football now. Looking on the inside is McEntee. Picks up Morris on the run. He can't find a way through too as he's shut down to the tackle of Creighton. Anstice again. Plenty of experience as Max Brown chimes in, climbing height. 12 men for the rest of the game for the Stingrays. Asked to back up here is Cooper. Josh Cooper.
I like it. McEntee trying to get adventurous, just a different style of kick, asking a different question of the Stingrays. They've got to do some of this, the Whalers. They've got to ask some different questions.
A few on debut as well for the Stingrays. Oh, look at this. He's saying there was a headbutt in there. So we'll get another look at it. So things just getting a little bit edgy out on the field.
You just spoke about the Whalers fronting up if they have to, and it was just one of the smaller men on the field, Anstice, against one of the bigger men, Big Fafita from the Stingrays, just fronting up. They're not going to take any backward steps here.
We've got the Whalers out there running. I might have to get Bob Marley in there to bring some peace to the occasion. There's the big 10 who plays the ball. Working out to the right-hand side, bit of a fend-off. Listen, this will just spark, I think, the Stingrays. Plenty of talent. That was Parudu. Nice run. Shutting one away, and then the next as well as Viliami Cooley. Formerly with the, I think, the Manly Jersey Flag squad, if I recall. Cooley. Came home for a family situation and then ended up at the Magpies, Manukau Magpies. 17 on the run is Junior Maungate. 5 out from the line, still with Joey Price, gets the ball away over the top. Might be short on numbers, but it's really given them a lift. Pop pass out the back door. Still alive. Stingrays throwing everything. Dowie has the ball, tries for the grubber kick, and it's been reeled in by Anstice.
And nice defence from the Whalers. As I mentioned, they started to get themselves off the try line. They were defending and forcing errors and making them make up the play on the run. But as soon as they cleared their decks and got themselves forward, they started to get some advantage and started to frustrate the attack of the Stingrays. That's what they've got to come up with, the Whalers.
Well, Ben Walton-Benedict's getting busy on defence. That's him in the long here. Looks a little bit like his compadre there as well, Stedman, and that is a tough tackle on Anstice. As I say, Troy, he runs the junior comps, plays for varsity, was the player of the day last week, Troy Anstice. But he looks a bit dusty after some of those early exchanges. 8 to play till half-time, 10 points in this one. Here's the bounce, it's allowed to bounce. People chasing, but it's the Stingrays who come up with it. Remember, down one player. Mustahi Bigali is sent off for punching. And you're watching, if you've just joined us, the 2024 New Zealand Rugby League National Championship men's. The Stingrays, the Whalers, coming at you from Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin. Another good solid carry from Morton Benedict. Price. That's Morton Benedict in 14, my apologies, that's him there. Let's get another look. Let's admit it. You know, when they're still, you can pick up the jerseys. Do you find it difficult to see some of the numbers on the run?
Yeah, especially for the Stingrays.
No, that's what I mean, for the Stingrays, yeah.
The white on white is difficult, especially say on the run with the black outlining. You just struggle there for a bit, but I'm going to give someone a rap here. It's the guy with the ball. Cameron Brown, the try scorer for the Whalers, has been relentless in this first half. The middle forward who's carried time and time again, defended strongly, and he's been out there for nearly 34 minutes. Just keeps going in that engine room for the Whalers.
Yeah, he does. He keeps busy. He's one of the senior players, isn't he? And as I say, with the Kyoto Tigers, 6 to play on the half, although there might be some halts for injury and the like. Inside ball on the fly this time around for Danny Moasika. They're going to really need some of their big men, their big rugby converts. And this time Hagen Free gets hold of the footy. One out running is going to be easy pickings. Still alive, the Whalers. Cut out ball over the top. Trying to bounce off the defenders at the moment, but not falling for the trait. Toiti Ramsey. That's Rambo. Neville Ramsey's Neff. As you remember, mercurial Neville Ramsey, what a contributor he was to the local club scene back in the day. Sadly, no longer with us, my mate. It's his Neff Toiti playing on the wing. Been liking what I've been seeing from this man. He continues to press forward each and every time.
Yeah, that's Walter Fafita, who made a really big name for himself this season for the Papakura Sea Eagles. Got himself noticed by the Warriors and had a run or two in the New South Wales Cup. Had a couple of training sessions. Big outside back, who, as you can see, carries the ball strongly.
There's a sort of a rugby background as well, Walter. So here they come, the Stingrays on the roll, looking towards the posts. They know they've got the firepower. Can they employ it in the right way, though, as they keep charging towards the line? Downstairs on the tackle, that's Dan Muasika once again. But they're under the pump here. They are under the pump, the Whalers. Trying to thread the needle as Hagen Free desperately drags down Liam. And then having a go from dummy half. I don't think it got there. Jack Fevers is having a decent look. He says it's not there as well. Through the line. This time, cut out ball onto Dowie. Dowie keeps it alive. Fafita is there. He won't be used as the Whalers cover defence slides well. But they're still under pressure. Still answering questions as the Stingrays put themselves in the frame. Lovely little offload as well from the Sergeant. Then the grubber kick into the in goal from Dowie. And it will be Whalers' ball.
Yeah, as you said, they're starting to come up with the recipe to defend their goal line a lot better. They've got some better movements and better energy and spacing. I think for the Stingrays, they're trying to play a simplicity to get themselves forward, and they're overplaying that. They've got to build it up once they've got them on the back foot. Try and look to play to the edges and get Dowie some space to where he can take it on and get some 2v1s like he did at the start of the game.
Walton Benedict is remaining busy on defence. Continues to get himself in front of the runners. He's plenty tough. Ben. So Anstis, again, one out running. He's not going to get them there, but there's many examples of some courage coming through here from the Whalers. This time it's Apinedu who gets to his feet. Anstis goes for the short side and to the hands of McEntee. Chipping over the top, the bounce important. It eludes everyone. And in fact, it's gone out on the full, so they'll back it up. It wasn't a deep kick anyway, so they'll back it up about 20 metres.
Yeah, with the scoreline the way it is, they don't have to feel like they're chasing the game here, the Whalers, which is what they're doing. I like the inventiveness at times, but that type of play, they just need to try and turn it into a deep kick and make the Stingrays come off their line because they're too big and too strong in this position. You can't keep giving them opportunity after opportunity.
From Otago, Ben, of course, a water polo man as well. Walton Benedict, as the cutout ball is back to Dowie. Features prominently, doesn't he, for a fullback? But they're trying to make up numbers as well. Still down, 12 men for a long period of this game. It's going to be a gutsy effort if the Stingrays can come away with the 2 points here. Tamana Parudu is to his feet. That's the 10-metre line. Good tackle. Across the top goes Solia. Holding. Price out the back door. cleverly into Dowie. Nice little play in the lead up, just couldn't quite finish off with the last pass. Excuse me.
And that's a couple of errors now from the Stingrays, as I'm talking about the Whalers and their defence, their system, their shape, their spacing is a lot better now to what it was in the opening part of this game. And this is frustrating. It's frustrating for the Stingrays. They're not quite finding the ways through as easy as they were at the start of the game. And they're coming up with errors on the back of it. Just got to recompose themselves.
We were talking in the previous game as well, you know, this period of the year, plenty of inspiration around, no shortage of it as far as good football and what to look forward to. Keenan Messina is probably one of the biggest standoffs you'll see in the game. That's him feeding the scrum now. This is Max Brown, who'll take it to ground under significant pressure from the Stingrays defenders. And again, no substitute for genuine size. This is Tufa Tuimuanasolia, the number 17. Played for the Whalers for the last 5 years. In fact, actually, the big guy broke his hand in the first game of last year, so pretty much ruled himself out of contention. That's a nice little pickup as well. Taken by the number 2. Down he comes into Dowie. Can he hurdle? Dowie can't. And it's sliding into action. Keenan Messina still alive if they can get it across to the right-hand side. The back rower free. Keeps it hot. On to McEntee. And now Brown chimes in. But the defence is good. And the ball's been jarred loose as well as Walter Fafita grabs hold of it and kicks it downfield. They're never back to 10, so it's a penalty here for the Whalers. But yeah, when they can get hold of some possession, they've got a few things going on, Willie.
Yeah, other than the time that they scored the try early in the game, that's been their best passage of play. Some good movement off the ball, smart play to get the long pass out here. Gets it out, plays back inside, draws too strong, and some great work from here from Samali on the wing. Just couldn't quite beat Dowie, but then their movement back, they realise the time is up. They'll take the 2 points that are on offer, and hopefully for the Whalers, they can kick the skull through McEntee and go in 16-8.
Yeah, hard to understand why you'd look for the 2, but thoughts there, Willie? Just see a bit of a breather?
They're looking at the clock, and there's not a lot of time left. I get what you're saying. There's probably a minute left and an opportunity to construct a set, and still time to put a set together. But as they haven't been down here very often, take the opportunity to take the 2 points while it's there.
And the 2's duly added. So 3 tries for the Stingrays. And now 2 points for the penalty. 16 points to 8. It is at the halftime split. Great to have you with us. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is this year's New Zealand Rugby League national competition. It's the Stingrays, a player down, but they still go to the break with a 16-8 scoreline. Stay with us. We'll have a look at the highlights of that first half coming up right here on the home of the NZRL National Competitions, Sky Sport. Kia ora, welcome back to Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin, Otepoti. And we have a 16-8 scoreline. The Stingrays are leading the Whalers. That's 3 tries, 2-1. A penalty as well, making up the 8 points for the home team. But also one of the players down as the result of a bit of a skirmish. James Dowie was first to score and really only been going a couple of minutes. And he chimed in. He's had a good first half, actually. Willie Poching with us today.
Yeah, it was a real shock of physicality from the Stingrays for the Otago Whalers. And then when they got some opportunity to move the ball out, they found some space for James Dowie to open the scoring. But then Otago had some scrambling defence to force an error. Got some play down the right-hand side and had the Whalers, the Stingrays, sorry, on the back foot. And it was this man, Cameron Brown. Just poor defending from the Stingrays. Some great footwork by the front rower to beat the defender, take on the fullback, and then open the scoring and respond to make it 4-all with the kick to come right next to the post. That made it 6-4.
Yeah, Cameron Brown's probably the pick of the bunch really for Otago, although Dowie chimes in once again here. And great lead-up work. Crichton eventually the main benefactor for try number 2 here for the Stingrays. That's him, a little dummy, and just got in underneath Max Brown and tried to get at him. That's him with the blonde hair and playing at fullback today for the Whalers. They weren't finished with yet, of course, the man they call Sergeant, because he's a sergeant in the police. Joey Price in to score as well. And then shuffling out the back and come up with a red card here. You see that? And of course the number 10's gone off and Tony Beghelli sent off. You don't see that too often in the game.
No, as I said, thankfully the punching element of the game has gone. We've moved on from some of that, but he didn't take too kindly to some of the pushing and shoving on the ground from Muffy. Bagley got up and unfortunately for him closed his fist and connected with Muffy on the head. The referee saw that. Now they're down to 12 men. It's going to be a big half. Big half for the Stingrays to hold off the Raids and be down that extra man.
16-8, the scoreline. Stay with us. We'll take a break and we'll be back with the second half coming your way next, right here in the home of NZRL action from across the country. You're watching Sky Sport on your Sunday afternoon. Ki mai and welcome back. It's good to have you with us today. And it's Te Wiki o Te Leo Māori, of course. Very pleased to be working alongside Willie Poching today. And it's a great time of year, what with the Pacific Championship coming up as well. We're in the thick of the NRL. And Willie is not long returned from England. I mean, how much are they going to afford? How much do you reckon the English League crowds will enjoy seeing Jordan Rapana and Kyle Felt?
Oh, they'll love it.
They'll love him, won't they?
Yeah, they love the superstars. They're all big fans of the NRL. The NRL is huge globally now, but it is so to all the Super League fans. So when they get the likes of Kyle Felt and Jordan Rapana and Aiden Caesar, who's going back there again, that calibre of player, and even Luke Keary going to France and playing for the Catalan Dragons, it's huge for the competition and huge for the fans and huge for the game as a whole.
Well, let's hope they settle in nicely there. I've loved watching Jordan and his game over the years. Kyle Felt's been one of the superstars, I think, of the NRL for many, many years. And he's been competitive. Gee, I remember watching him in, I think it was the under-20s comp final against the Warriors. Hugely competitive. The Warriors just got that one and now playing at the back end of his illustrious career in Britain. We are in Dunedin as James Dowie gets us underway here for the second half. Good to have you with us too. Forsyth Bar Stadium. Let's see what comes of this one here. There's a lot of feeling in it because of the send of Tahi Magali in that first half. And while they might be down to 12 men, you think that there'll be a couple in there who will really put their hands up as Liam Prendergast gets into the defensive work early on in the second stanza. And a penalty just too long, lingering for too long on Solia. And referee Fevers says, no, guys, you know the rules. Make the tackle, roll away quickly. Here's the man who's been leading the charge, Cameron Brown. Experienced and very highly regarded in both codes in and around Dunedin. Manukau sends the ball in field. Restart with Aleki Morris. Now Solia once again gets himself into the mix.
There's no lacking of heart or courage in this Whalers side. Where they're lacking is just the fine intricacies of the game. You can see a couple of times here, especially when they're attacking, they're catching the ball really, really deep away from the advantage line, and it's restricting their ability to make meters, especially post-advantage line. If they can catch the ball a little bit flatter, they'll put some pressure on the defensive line from the smarts of the Stingrays.
Mr. Dale Fafita, again, well, we've got some genuinely big units. You can sort of sense some of them who are more au fait with rugby than with rugby league. But I tell you what, there's no combating size, and that kick is very accurate as well and finds its way into touch deep into enemy territory. Smart way to start the game too for the Whalers from Otago.
Really smart way, being a man up with the Stingrays losing Bagley from the field and being down to 12 men. They're going to try and strangle them. They've got to try and squeeze the energy out of them and control the game, control the field position.
Well, the big guy, Mr. Nale, in 23 for the Whalers, actually comes from that club who plays out of Oamaru called Waitake. And there's a very prominent basketball player too. Keep an eye out for him. That's Miss Nale Fafita in jersey number 23. Well, slowly to their feet. This man continues to have a strong game. Ben Walton Benedict, real talent. Bit of hot stepping there before closed down by 24, Jacob Day. He too from Waitaki out of the Oamaru Stone Town. I say that because it's got some beautiful stonework if you're ever down in the South Island. Well worth a visit. Shoulder charge. Well, they're making life difficult for themselves, aren't they, Willie?
They are. That's 2 sets now in defending the Whalers coming off their own line that they've conceded a penalty and just giving the Whalers cheap yards. And they've got to work on their discipline and have some focus on trying to keep things a lot tighter than what they are.
So the Whalers sensing that they could make some inroads here. Here's a great opportunity for them. And wrapped up as more Sika. Here he is, one of the big men, Missinale Fafita. Half volley pickup was handy as well for Hagen Free. He's pegged as well. Look out, Stingrays are coming on a bit of a raid at the moment as we see Brown stepping on the inside. He's wrapped up by Price, centre field. Anstis is having a good look around at the moment here for Otago. What a scalp it would be if they were to come away with a victory. They're certainly going as underdogs, I would think, against the Stingrays. Need the ball to be played into the hands there of the 22, Keenan Masina. And I think that might be a try in the corner. That's the way that the touch judges ruled it. Listen to the crowd in the background. And it is indeed a try. Wonderful effort by the Whalers down the left edge.
I was just going to say, after they conceded the penalty, after they won the penalty, the Whalers just grew in confidence with every carry. And that time, it was the winger, Saimale, with two defenders in front of him, almost Jonah Lomu style, just no stopping him. You could just feel the in-goal area, was hungry to get there, hungrier than the defenders were to stop him. And a great try to open up the second half for the Whalers. What a response.
Didn't even realise it had happened, to be honest. Keenan Messina flicked the ball across where it was picked up by Simon Samate. He's had a couple of years off. He's actually been playing some rugby for North Otago Rugby. But Keenan Messina had the foresight to whip it across there. And he's part of the leadership team in the squad, Messina. Works at the varsity as a Pacific Island student support kaimahi.
You mentioned at the start of the game, James Dowie isn't your typical fullback type of body. Well, Messina's not your typical type of six either.
Absolutely not. He's a DJ at night as well, so he might be a bit tired today. He might have been out on the ones and twos last night.
You reckon he was working on the decks last night?
Could have been on the decks, mate. But anyway, had good foresight to get that one down, and Samate into score, which will be a real confidence boost for the Whalers squad. 16 points to 12. Had some extras from wide out. It's a tough kick. No, that one won't get there. The 16-12 it is. Look out, Stingrays. There's Messina's ball. Lovely out to Samate. And he goes headlong into Ramsey, but still able to get the ball down under a ton of pressure as well. 16-12 you've got here, E Hoama. Seven minutes into the second half. There's no panic button been hit here, and nor should there be. Ton of experience in this South Auckland Counties Manukau based squad. But as the minutes pass, the confidence grows.
You're 100% right. There's no need to panic yet. They're still in the lead, and there's still a lot of time up their sleeve. But they've got to fix up their discipline. They can't concede penalty after penalty. This has got to be a clean set for them.
That's Solia with the carry. Of course, the defender played the old throw away the headgear routine. Age-old trick, that ball's gone down, and these little mistakes are what the Whalers can't afford. And that's exactly what's happened for them. So now, the Stingrays have the football. Named Stingrays because of the Manukau Harbour that borders the county's Manukau area where the boys are from. And there are plenty of fire out in there, plenty of Stingrays. As the Stingrays come a-calling, it's Dowie who wants to get involved in almost everything, James. Hunt. Jamal looking for the offload, successfully delivers it to, bit of hot stepping at the back for Tungia for 4. He's muscled to ground in the tackle of Brown. 8 out from the line, 10 to the right-hand side of the posts here. It's Price. It's Joey Price. Does he get there this time? Just short of moments, a millimetre or two. There's the cut-out ball out wide. And very hard to stop out there. And it's Fafita who's in the score for the Stingrays.
And nice play, nice build-up from the Stingrays. It was Price that made the indentation into the line. Joey Price playing too quick, pulled all the defenders in, which gave Fafita all the space out on the edge. Too big, too strong, the big winger. Plots it down for his first of the day. And a response for the Stingrays. Just what they needed, punishing the Whalers for that critical error coming off their own line.
Let's have another look there. The cut-up ball over the top. Even though they're down a man, they recognise that they could get the overlap there. A little bit of hurdling as well required there from Jordan McEntee.
Yeah, and it was the quick play from Price and then the smarts of Crichton to recognise the tempo and the space and the fact that he had the big winger unmarked. Bit of a stutter, bit of a goosey, and puts it down and gives James Dowie the opportunity from the sideline to extend the lead.
He's a good sort of guy to have in your team, James Dowie. You know, really works hard for his teammates. It's that one, it's just to the left. But they'll be enjoying playing here without the weather influences. I guess it takes a different approach, really. You're not going to have, obviously, no rain, but there's no wind either. So everything's sort of runs true. It's like getting into a pool hall rather than one of those pub pool tables, you know what I mean? Where you're playing with broomsticks and everything's got the roll on. This is a flat, true surface and a good judge of where you're at.
Yeah, it's fantastic these players get to play on a surface and in an arena of this standard. For a lot, this will be the best ground they've ever been able to play on.
Yeah, but
and in these conditions as well.
It might be the first and last time, eh?
Possibly.
You know, who knows? The indoor stadiums over in England?
None.
None.
Wales, Cardiff, the old Millennium Stadium.
You know, there's one in Melbourne. And they're reveling in that one. 19 is Mosese Whaiamani. Was with the Vulcans last year, played his club footy this year with the Leopards. Mosese. And the teammates recognising, hey, they're still playing for payback. For the fact that Taki's having to sit and watch, perhaps feeling that he was unfairly targeted by the man who hit him in the first place. And then by the referee's decision. They're still with it, 52 gone. 20 points to 12. Price on the inside for Hunt. And it's this clever with his defensive work. Again, Price. Oh, he's an active man, isn't he? He really likes to get things moving. One of the Whalers players down and back play. Will keep your eye on that. Stedman Lemafu is the man with the football. Stedman Lefoe, sorry. That's him, Stedman. Over the line, to the ground. Maybe not. Held up.
Good D, and it had to be. Big man Lefoe on the try line, playing the short ball. You can see how desperate they were. 3 defenders around him. They've still got another tackle to defend. Another tackle to attack here for the Stingrays.
The old Troy Estes has got a bit of a problem here. He's one of the leaders, one of the senior players here. And, plays with a ton of heart, Troy. So backing it up at the moment. Lefoe will play the football. Just waiting for the referee's restart whistle. We're underway again. Here they come as Hunt gets the ball on. And the whole shot for Dowie. Clean and smooth. Created the opportunity. And Dowie, well, he doesn't want a second invitation. And he just makes it his own on the run. Great play from the Stingrays.
And that's just come from experience and know-how. Crichton and Dowie, their Papakura connection, playing at the line. They draw McEntee in as the two defender. And Max Brown, the fullback for the Otago Whalers, could not get anywhere near the play. And James Dowie gets his second of the afternoon. And a nice set-up play. They had all the time in the world to construct that one play. After the restart, after Lefaux was held up. And as soon as they get it out, it's Hunt. Gets it out to Crichton. Second man play, drawing in the defenders. And it's a walk-in. Try number 2 for James Dowie.
I don't know if that was the love heart sign he's trying to create up there, or a little bit of miss.
Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. I saw him do it when he scored his first try. Yeah, maybe a little symbol or sign to the wife and kids.
Yeah, maybe. Next time I bump into him, must have a talk about that. But it's pretty commonplace nowadays, those post-try celebrations. Bits of messaging, 14 gone in the second half. Make that 15. 24-12. This one coming around, no it won't, and that's where it stays. Well, there seems to be an added crispness to the work at the moment here for the Stingrays. They maybe weren't satisfied with that first half performance, 16-8 they led. They've come back with 2 quick tries to Fifita and Dowie.
And interesting for the Otago side, since they made that error, after they scored that try, they've not touched the ball since. It's been about 7 or 8 minutes since they've had their hands on the ball. And that's how critical it can be when you're playing the side as experienced and as knowledgeable as the Stingrays are. You've got to be clinical when you get your chances.
Well, momentum is an interesting thing, isn't it? And, you can lose it, and you have to wait a long time to get it back. Again, everyone's full of steam at the moment as Lefaux once again carries in. Price, inside line. Good powerhouse play too, using the interchange bench well. Again, Lefaux. Slow to his feet this time. Dummy half work for a toy for 4. And out wide as well, there was some looming presence there, wasn't there, of Fifita. Yeah, and Brown gets cut down with a solid hit. He liked it. Bit of an acknowledgement, nod to his opponent, saying, yeah, fair enough, you got me there. And there just seems to be some real purpose in the defensive work at the moment here. They're trying to make the most of the overlap and stepping back on the inside. This is Manukau. Runs into his back row. I think it was free. Pushing it out, and there's the intercept, making it look easy. Coming in from the right-hand side was Tracy Ramsey. And you always run the risk, don't you? When you do those long Harbour Bridge balls. The young man spotted it a mile off. And see as well, I'll be doing the crossing here if that's the sort of Harbour Bridge ball you want to throw.
And I'll go back to the kick that Crichton put up into the corner. I thought Fifita had an opportunity to contest and get up. He decided not to, but his teammates could sense there was some blood in the water with the ball being played a metre off the try line. 4 tackles. The Otago Whalers were still inside their 10-metre line. And in an effort to make some ground, they tried to overplay their hand. And the long ball out to the edge, gleefully taken by Ramsey for the Stingrays to increase their lead on the game to 28-12 and give James Dowie a little bit of an easier kick than he's had for most of the afternoon.
Yeah, fair enough too. And I think gleefully was a very appropriate word for it as well. You see the smile on his face before he got the ball in hand. But for the Whalers, hey, look, they really must. They have to buckle down here. The Stingrays, well, they know they've got some tough opponents going forward, particularly with the Akarana Falcons, the Auckland Vulcans as well. But they'll be wanting to make a statement here. As I say, I think they're still smarting at the fact their teammate was sent off. And they'll be wanting to make the Whalers pay. So already we're out to 30-12. Conceivably, judging by the pace with which these tries are coming, this could go anywhere.
Could be a blowout, but just in that passage, the aggression of the Stingrays was really evident with their ball carriers and how they had the defence of the Whalers on the back foot and not being able to get any ascendancy. And then with the kick and then turning it into defence, they're really in a mood here.
Well, some decent defensive work there from the 14 for the Whalers. But as you say, mate, they're on the roll on here. Look at them going. Look at them going. Searching, searching. That was a shoulder charge as well. So some of the technique is debatable. Raven talking off a forward. Well, he didn't deserve that, did he?
Really got a hold of the tempo here and getting control of this game. Through the middle of the park, Max Brown not being able to get an arm around. And they get a chance to go to work to see if they can post some more points.
Well, it's Max's first year with the squad. He did play under 20 South Island. Actually, he's Olo Brown's son. You remember Olo?
I do remember Olo.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Olo Brown.
Fantastic front rower. Fantastic All Black. One of the best.
Kia ora. Well, that's his young fella. Max. Oh, hey, they're on fire at the moment, the Stingrays. Look out. They're on fire. Here's Jamal Hunt. He might throw a few away and go in himself. And it's this, has to use all of his experience to keep the big guy at bay. Holding. Where's the ball? Bamboozling everyone now. Wow. It's hot potato stuff at the moment for the Stingrays. You can understand that too. 19 to play in the game. Already up by 18.
And this is their test now. This is the test for the Stingrays. Can they hold their composure? Things will become too tempting for them, as it was then, to try and overplay their hand. Play on the back of their power game. Play on the back of getting the Whalers on the back foot, and then take those opportunities. They don't have to try and make it up on the run.
Manukau's been very good too. Distributing for the Stingrays. Here are the Whalers with the football. They just steady themselves a little here. I'd suggest that Solia takes the ball in. They don't have to do it on the first tackle. This is tackle number 2. Brown to Brown. It's Cameron Brown to Max Brown. It's this. Big up to all the supporters of the Whalers, the supporters of Otago Rugby. You're quite right in saying, Willie, you said it was one of the very oldest regions for rugby league. Well past its centenary. There's some tough head work going in there as well. As Fafita has the ball now, it's been lost. And you can see them high-fiving too as well. Just rubbing salt into the wounds really at the moment.
Yeah, just a miscommunication of which hole each of them were going to run. And just throwing the pass into the defenders in the way. They don't need any invitation here, the Stingrays. As you can see, Hagen free, trying to play at the line. And unfortunately, Solia just couldn't take the ball in. And another error. Be really disappointing to see their completion rate today when they've been able to hold the ball and finish on their own terms. they've had some really positive ends to their sets, whether that's been the 2 tries they've been able to come up with, or pinning the Stingrays in a real good position. They just haven't been able to do it enough.
This is looking dangerous. Almost through as well. It was a very desperate tackle from one of the best on show today. That's the number 4 going towards the line and almost picking up a try himself. Morris is there again. He will be asked to defend strongly. The passes but was sort of ordinary as Masese Faamani gets hold of the ball. He's only 7 metres away from the try line. You've got to think that the Stingrays have got another one in them as Joe Price pushes forward once again. 16 out from full time, 16 minutes that is, and across field they go. The ball has been pounced upon by the Whalers. The small but parochial crowd have gathered here in Dunedin today. Pleased to see that the gap's opened up here for Tama Beneru on the far side of the field. He did well to realise he was getting close to the line and ran the risk of being bowled out into touch. So he goes to ground, and now the 21, Willie Time, is in the mix. Willie has been in the Whalers before. He went back into varsity for his Bachelor of Science, where he majored in anatomy, and it's great to see him on the track. That's Willie Time, 23. So, the Whalers, there's that cut-out ball again. We mentioned, we know they're playing against 12 men, but they're covering very well at the moment as Brown comes into acting half. Jake Day, again, boldly, straight ahead. McEntee threading the needle, and Dowie's been around a long time, just waited, had some patience, and waited for the bounce to come his way. Nullifies the threat that was posed by the Whalers on that play. And now they have the ball again. Stingrays, 80 out from where they want to be as Ramsey comes in from the far side of the field.
And from where they started the set, where they forced the error to where they've ended up, they've got to be happy with this. They've just got to put their focus in trying to restrict these meters. And as I said, finishing these sets that they get on their own terms.
He's done some clever things today, Raven. Took it off for 4. Down the right side. The chip over the top. Look who's first man there. It's Dowie. He's had a tremendous game today, the fullback for Papakura, and now for the Stingrays. Wonderful game. Brown again. Max.
You can just see as we approach the 67th minute of the game, it's taken this Whalers a long time to get back behind the ball. They're looking for people to put the hand up to carry. The energy's just starting to drain out of them.
But the crowd really want them to lift themselves as Mavo Manuika is wrapped up in the tackle once again of the hard-working defender, Joey Price. First receiver, easy pickings there as Aleki Morris pushes his way forward. Ex-Otago MPC Aleki from the Harbour Hawks. And this is something of a midfield bomb. Easily taken and gone back, but one-on-one stolen. Play on, says the referee. Keep going, ball is across to Anstis, who will score beside the posts. Well, there you go. Play to the whistle as what you're taught in your tender days of being a rugby league player, and play to the whistle they did.
We spoke about the first half. Marcina manufactured a kick that wasn't quite the necessary one, but they came up with a result because of the chase. That was the same on this occasion. It was a kick from Jordan McEntee. He tried to go for a spiral, mishit it, and didn't quite get the distance, but they had the chase, and Solia was the man to force the error, pick it up. Wasn't sure whether it was play on, but the referee said, keep going, son. Drew in, found the ball to McEntee, who went 2-on-1 with the fullback, James Dowie from the Stingrays. And it's that hooker who's been tough as teak all afternoon, Troy Anstis. A well-deserved try for him. Score is 30-16 with the kick in front of the sticks. This could be 30-18. And 2 scores down with just 12 minutes to go. It's still on here for the Otago side.
It's still on, and really for a time there you thought their day is done. But that, even though that was open for a little bit of conjecture as to whether or not there might have been two players there, but grabbing hold of it, the 17, he's just looked up, surely, and thought, hey, and the rest said, no, you're good to go. And so getting it across to Troy Ansters, and as you say, I agree, he's been one of the best in the park this afternoon. There's another look. There are two players there. One's looking on. No. You okay with that?
1-on-1, yeah, well. It was almost rugby union, wasn't it? Going in to clean up in the ruck and stolen the ball. The referee was happy with it. You got to play to the whistle. As I said, Ansters gets a well-deserved 4-pointer.
6 tries to 3. There's one penalty in it. Other than that, the other two have been converted. Not much of a hurry to get back here for the restart. Great to have you with us, though, this afternoon here on Sky Sport. And, of course, very mindful of what's still to come this year on the channel that brings all of the hot rugby league, the hottest rugby league, to you, Sky. Obviously, the NRL finals, and that's out on the full. You can see, Willie, how things can play against you, and sometimes momentum shifts.
And that's his first big blemish of the day, James Dowie, who, as you said, has been busy. He's been involved in all the good things that the Stingrays have done, but he comes up with an important error. Kicking the ball out on the full. It's a penalty now to the Otago Whalers. They're not looking like they're going to kick for touch. They're just going to tap it here, which is strange. Normally it's fine touch and take the advantage of getting some free meters, but maybe some inexperience from the Otago side and one not understanding the rules and the benefit of taking the kick.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's a 20-metre gain, it's 20. You don't have to run and haul. So very surprising. And now the defence is getting even more urgent, I would suspect, from both teams. The back rower gets hold of it, Hagen free. And he runs into Price. 13 on 13. Ansters. Wouldn't it put a cat amongst the pigeons if the Whalers were to score again? Putting the pass back on the inside for Cameron Brown, who's been very good here this afternoon. Very good. Jamal Hunt wraps him up. Ansters goes a couple of paces. Then to McEntee. These names so familiar with Otago Rugby League. Crossfield kick. And climbing nicely for it and taken in goal. So you restart on the 20-metre line. Well taken too. Hats off to Walter Fafita.
Yeah, McEntee was the man they needed to get boots of ball, but he got tackled on the previous play. Needed to realise it was tackle 4 when he got his hands on it and needed to move it on so he could set himself up for the kick and get the finish they needed. Instead, Fafita comes up with a catch in the end goal. Now they've got 7 tackles to roll themselves down the field here, the Stingrays.
Yeah, and this man's been real good all day. He just continues to go straight ahead to really enjoy the work of Stedman Lafoe throughout the course of the afternoon. Down into the last 8 minutes or so. And the Stingrays will be wanting to put another try on board. Good tackle from behind. That looked threatening. Really nicely put away. Fire money. Price holds up the pass beautifully. Looking to get an opportunity was Josh Cooper. I think he was wise to go to ground, but here are the numbers, and here's Dowie again. Hat-trick time. Hat-trick time for the talented fullback. Karpai. And lekker to Mahi. Sweet the Mahi was from James Dowie.
And that's the way to make up for an error. He's the one that kicked the ball out on the full from the kickoff. He responds by getting his try, his hat-trick try, his 3rd of the day. And some of this, I'll take it back to when they made the break on the right-hand side. The tackle was made by Solia, who's the right-back rower. So he's out of position now. And there was always an opportunity, had they come out to this left-hand side, to find the space where Solia should have been. There was no lacking in some of his effort. He just needed some help from his teammates to take care of his spot. And it was James Dowie to read it best, take advantage of all that space with his power and size. 3 tries for the day.
Yeah, he's got to be 6'2", or easy that. And he's one of those genuine bigger fullbacks. I don't know, when you were coaching, did you like the the big fullback, the English size, or did you go for the Tompkins sort of size of the Billy Slater type fullback?
Yeah, they both had their advantages. Obviously, the bigger ones have more advantage when you're defending, catching a high ball. It is tougher for them to get lower to the ground, but you do find some bigger fullbacks, and I go back to when I was playing. The danger that they can present, they're almost like another back rower when they're bringing the ball back. With some of Paul Hoff, way back in the day with the Broncos, he was 6'4", 6'5", played for Queensland and Australia. You don't get many more bigger than him, and he was fantastic. When we talk about today, we've got the Jai Greys and the Trey Fullers and Tane Tuolpikis, those smaller type fullbacks who are lightning. Reece Walsh, he's the superstar at the moment. So
well, it's a reminder there's a role for everyone, irrespective of your physique. And again, the Whalers still getting plenty of support as well. The Whalers at a darting run this time around for the 19. Quick play the ball. Here they come. No way through that time for the big man. And 23, Keenan Masina. Lefau, deadly in his defensive work today. This has been working hard. Can the Whalers put another one on and elate their small support base that have turned up at Forsyth Bar this afternoon? Here they come, close to the line. Masina holds his own. Counties Manukau realise, well, we're not going to let the one man through on his own as Anstis comes into the acting half roll. Now to McEntee, putting the grubber kick through. Play on, says the referee, and deemed to be a knock-on for the Whalers.
And there was some tired plays from the attack from the Whalers side. Anstis looking for runners. Didn't find too many willing carriers in good positions. It was just a matter of trying to pass it off to someone to carry the ball. And with 4.5 minutes to go, it's a tough ask to score the 3 tries necessary to crawl this league back. But the energy at this moment in time is all with the Stingrays.
Well, when we look at the results from last week as well, you've got to realise that the Stingrays would have come in as favourites. They were 40-0 winners last week over the Bay of Plenty squad. The Whalers here at Otago, 48-24 winners across Waikato. So when they look at the scoreline today, 34-18, they'll still be thinking to themselves that they're in the hunt. I don't know what all the rigmarole is here at the moment, but there's been some ill feeling through the course of the afternoon. There's no doubt about that, since the send-off of Tahi Bagali. And the big fella comes in and says, come on, boys.
As Price is going to ground, it looks like Anstis comes in, and they're arguing that there's a flop. And he may have hit him late. I don't have too much about it. I don't think there's too much wrong with that. He's had every right to come in and join the tackle.
Well, the referee will have a couple of words with him. But let's just look up at the clock and realise there's only 3 minutes to go. They've set a pretty good go, and Troy Anstis is going to have a word with, and a penalty against Anstis for what was, well, a flop, but I've seen much worse flops than that, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, Price wasn't on the ground. The tackle wasn't complete.
So maybe shouldn't have been a penalty either.
I didn't think it was, but the fact that his teammates made a bit of hoopla about it, it just came to the referee's attention and probably made it a little bit bigger than what it was.
Kia ora, fair call. So they play the ball here. Matty Takai's been very good today, as mentioned, as the big guys come up through the middle. Cam Brown, well, he's still playing hard. There's still plenty of football left in here as well, because it doesn't end today. There's more rugby league coming up, and another ball, another beauty. They're not finished with yet, the Stingrays. They're being protective of each other. And then a handshake for the big guy. It's awesome. There's Joey Price. Good passing out. And you'd have to think Fafita's a chance, but the ball's drifted forward. And the referee will have us back. Oh, gee. The big fella, is it Muffy? Michaela, was it Muffy? He just put out the hand for a handshake after.
Sorry,
after the
sorry
big-
for smashing you into the ground.
Sorry, mate. He says. Oh, no, it's still on though.
Yeah, Cameron Brown isn't happy about something. Having to go with Joey Price here. A minute and a half to go. Don't need it, fellas. Just see the game
Yeah,
out.
I think so. I'm with you. And, so the referee's just calling a couple of the guys out. He's the peacemaker, that big fella. He's been good value in there.
There he is.
James Dowie in the background. Price, let's see which way this goes. The back rowers. Hagen free. Joe Price being spoken to here. And some running repairs in the background as well. Well, it's been a good performance here for the Stingrays. Remember, they were down to 12 men had to be the better part of 3/4 of this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would have been about 20 minutes into the game that Tahi Bagley got sent off. So they have been down to 12 men for almost 60 minutes of the game. And they've really asserted themselves physically and dominated the physical stakes of the game.
I think they might have just pushed the back rower out into the backs. So he wasn't in the Te Mura o Te Ahi, the heat of the battle.
Yeah, they've pushed Joey Price out to get him away from the fire.
That's right. So I hope you've enjoyed the action here this afternoon. We'll get some reaction from the captains of the squads as well post-match. We'll also show you the highlights, and there are plenty of them too. 7 tries so far, 3 of them scored by Dowie for the Stingrays, so it's a pretty decent performance individually by the fullback. That's some solid work in there as Tamiana Paruru gets himself involved. Almost finding a way through is Orlando. On the far side, Huta not too far away. Through the hands come the Whalers. Little pass as well, finds Max Brown into space. Runner on the inside, will they need him? Max Brown holding, ball back. And it was intercepted, then b-balled over the top for Ramsey. Around the outside goes Twaiti Ramsey. And he's pulled down. Must be into some injury time at the moment. 34-18, the Stingrays looking like they're well capable in 2024 of holding the trophy aloft here in the NZRL National Men's Premiership. They've got some tough opposition as well. Of course, the Vulcans, Akalana Falcons as well. This man's had a strong game today with plenty of decent carries. Walter Fafita on show. 20 out from the try line. Tako. To the right. Free. Keep him busy.
He's toiled hard. He's toiled hard, as have the pack for the Whalers, and the beaten side and the side that's been on the back foot all afternoon. Hagen Free and Cameron Brown have toiled hard for their side.
And the curtain comes down on this one as well. All the way in Dunedin. 34 points to 18. The Stingrays have taken out the Whalers here in week 2 of the competition. And it's been wonderful to see, although there's still a little bit of heat on here. And I think that, well, the boys just need to go and have a lemonade and calm it down a little. Still, hope you enjoyed the action. Stingrays win this one, 34-18. Plenty of highlights in the reel as well. Took just 4 minutes before Dowie was in to score. In the end, it turned into a 7 tries to 3 result. But hats off to everyone. Bit of heat in this one because of the send-off of Begali, unnecessary as well. It seemed, but perhaps he was feeling as though he'd been aggravated. And the big man there has been probably the peacekeeper of the afternoon. That's Keenan Masina. The Whalers have got plenty more to go. Let's have a look at the tries as they came. As I say, took just 4 minutes for the first one to come. And that was from the fullback. He's had a decent game here this afternoon. Dowie scoring 3. Here's the first of them.
Yeah, it was a real Papakura combination through Joey Price and Arthur Crichton finding the space for James Dowie to score. And then an error from the Stingrays presented Otago with the opportunity. Cameron Brown, as I mentioned earlier, some great footwork to dot down near the line and respond and make the scoreline 6-4 to the Whalers.
This one's Crichton, takes it all on his own. And the clever halfback able to push himself across. And next up, it was big Joey Price, who was in to score. And this where the send-off came. And a bit of blood there from the big man. And because it was a close fist, off you go.
That meant an early afternoon and an early shower for Tahi Bagley. Then at the start of the second half, the Whalers opened up with the scoring and a wonderful try taken by Saimone Samati. With 2 defenders on him, there was no stopping him. And a great ball out. Recognising the space, having the big winger like Walter Fafita out there with so much space just to dot down in his first of the afternoon.
There's Dowie once again. As we say, just knows how to chime into the line. That was the second of his 3 this afternoon. Ramsey also gets his opportunity with a bit of an intercept there. There's the big rainbow ball. And then it was Axtis who scored a one comeback and gave him a little sniff of an opportunity here. Now watch this take. And then the ball is stolen. A little bit of a fumble, but then stolen and delivered to Anstis. Almost checked himself and gave himself up, but the referee says, no, I'm okay with where things are out. And then Dowie was in to score right at the back end as well. I wasn't quite sure, but it looks as though that field goal was also successful in the dying moments. Let's have another look here. And the referee throws his hand up. So it was indeed successful. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. It's the Stingrays who win this one against the boys from the South of Whalers, and they win it handsomely, 35-18. Let's go across now to Jamal Hunt, who is the successful captain for the Stingrays.
Thanks for joining us, Jamal. A man down at half-time. What was the message in the sheds at half-time?
Half-time was just to dig deep. We knew that it was going to be a tough slope first in the last 40. I think we managed to do pretty well. Really happy with the outcome, but that's no discredit to the Otago boys. You know, they're going well. I've got a few more weeks from the comp, but overall proud of the lads for digging deep in their last 40.
And to keep this momentum up, what do you need to work on going into next week's game?
So next week we've got Karana. It's going to be a good one. Auckland rivals. So we're definitely going to need a front up and definitely not have anyone be sent off or be better in our penalties and our errors. So I think that's the main thing for us. But other than that, we're happy to come down and get the 2 points and have a good flight home and back to our families.
Well, all the best for next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Got a really good and a neat opportunity for some of these guys from the south side of Tamaki Waikato to go to Otipoti. Not everyone gets the chance. So they won't be overly disappointed, I wouldn't think, the Whalers. They still have plenty of opportunities to prove their worth in this competition. And let's go down and get some thoughts from their captain.
Despite the loss today, what were the positives of the match?
Probably just our effort areas. We didn't play our best, obviously. We could have done a lot of things better, but the boys never gave up, hung in there against a big physical team. So, yeah, proud.
Awesome. And you went into the sheds down at half-time. What was the message?
Probably just to stay in the fight. We didn't have much of the ball in the first half, and we're only down maybe 14-6. So we were hopeful that if we could stay in it, the momentum would shift, but obviously it got away on us at the end there.
And what are the work-ons for next week?
Probably just our physicality. These Auckland teams in particular, they're big and physical, so we've got a taste today of where we need to be at.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Hagan, and all the best for next week.
Thanks very much. I'll just give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the Kensington Bar and Tavern. Thank you.
And thank you, Hagan Free, joining us there. And look, they're realists as well. They've got more that they can offer, and they weren't at their best today. Counties Manukau Stingrays, Yakarana Falcons, the local derby, and you'll be getting that action next week, and it's a midday kickoff. Then the Bay against Otago, where you think the latter would go in as favourites, but Bay of Plenty will be on the rise too, as a result of having plenty of opportunities. Let's have a look at the standings. Willie Poaching, it's been good working with you this afternoon as we wrap up week number 2.
Yeah, some big results from this weekend. The Auckland Vulcans going 2 for 2 after their win last week, after travelling to Bay of Plenty, getting that result. Otago couldn't quite back up their winner this afternoon, but Akarana, they also go 2 for 2. So some big results there. And then in the Women's Premiership, Wellington just going down to the Counties Manukau Stingrays 26-18. Waikato, not quite good enough for the Auckland Vulcans women, 40-12 to them. But the tables, Counties Manukau, as I said, Auckland Vulcans, both unbeaten, sitting at the top. Otago, Akarana, they've got a win each. Waikato and Bay of Plenty still chasing their first wins of the season. But in the women's, Counties Manukau, Akarana Falcons, they're unbeaten at the top, which leaves the Vulcans women and the Canterbury Bulls with the sole win of their season so far. But the Wellington Orcas, unfortunately, with Waikato, they're still chasing their first win to connect and try and get their season going.
Well, as the two teams come together and the camaraderie, the whakawhanangatanga is part of the hallmark of our sport here in New Zealand, we bid you farewell from Forsyth Bar Stadium in Otepoti, where the Stingrays were too strong for their opponents, the Whalers, winning this one in round 2 of the men's premiership, 35-18. From me, Dale, and of course, our good friend